It's like panic attacks. It was a big part of my life. I don't know if you remember as kids sometimes when I would be struggling with one or something.
Right.
I know when I was by myself and y'all would be in another room or something like that, I would find literally if I got around you guys, I was like, I need to find the kids. I need to find the kids.
That's so sweet.
I know. We are back. Man, episode 3. Golly, episode 3.
I know, already.
Talking Back.
Powered by Life 360.
I'm Billy.
And I'm Drew.
Yeah, I mean, so powered by Life 360. I know, that's kind of a really, really cool story. I'm just gonna, kind of a tragedy turned cool. But this is exactly what Life 360 was made for. It was actually Hurricane Katrina. That's when their founder and CEO, came up with this. Like, hey, we need something to find somebody in tragedy. If tragedy strikes, how do I find my family?
Right.
And Oklahoma, if you guys are in Oklahoma, last week we got,
the past, has it been like the past 2 weeks?
I feel like
it's been a while.
Yeah, and I know other parts of the country too as well. But man, the weather is no joke around here, and it was no different. I can't remember what night it was, but just last week, and the city of Barnesdall, it's up by Bartlesville, Oklahoma. If y'all know where that is, it's about hour and a half from here. They got just hammered. So, like I said, tragic story, but ended really, really well because 2 kids got sucked out of their home, thrown into a field by the tornado, had no clue where they were at, and their parents were able to find them by Life 360.
Which is pretty crazy.
So crazy. And you hear of so many of these stories, and that's what it's truly for. It's all these safety features. So go check it out.
Yes,
Apple Store, Android, all that good stuff. Download that app. Get in a circle. Keep yourself safe in this crazy, crazy, mad world.
Yep.
Man, let's get into it. What do we got today?
So today we're answering your guys' questions.
Oh, got some questions from some,
Yes.
yeah. All right, very good. Let's start it out.
Okay. So first from Sophie Clark M. She wants to know how we deal with our mental health. So
let's talk about it. Let's get into that.
Yes.
Mental health is, you'll hear it most every podcast. We touch on it. It comes up because it is. It's man, it hits me deep. I've had a lot to learn in that category, and you have helped me.
You struggled with yourself too, didn't you? Used to get panic attacks.
I did.
Which people probably don't know that either. But
I know. I'll touch on that. I still I remember the first one I had, and it was you weren't even born. But Darian was a baby, and I remember I was watching a movie. We were in Houston at Mimi's house. And I was home by myself with Willie. That's Lindsay's brother. He did pass away a couple of years ago, in 2020, during COVID. He was in a bad car wreck. But anyways, I was at home with him, basically taking care of him. And all of a sudden, I thought I was having a heart attack. My heart starts beating fast, and I'm like, I can't breathe.
Yeah.
I remember going out in the backyard and literally making myself throw up because I'm like, what is going on? It's spinning, it's this, it's that. And my whole world is going crazy. And since that day happened, it was a pretty consistent thing. I would get my heart start racing. I was like, what is going on? This is not so. Doing research, and back then there wasn't much. We didn't have it wasn't like it was today.
There's so much. Luckily now there's way more.
Because this had to be 2004 probably, 2000, something like that. So I'm trying to deal with these panic attacks, having really no clue what they are, and I went to the doctor thinking I was basically dying. I would
Mhm.
have Lindsay take me, or even Lindsay's mom. I remember one time took me. I'm like, can you
Really?
take me because my heart? She
Yeah.
felt it. I mean, it was just racing, and I'm like, I think I'm having a heart attack.
Yeah,
What is
which
going on? And so
is crazy.
the doctor, explained to me it's panic attack, and I'm like, but I don't really have, you know. But at that time, when I look back at it, my first
Yeah.
kid, we're at Mimi's, we're taking care of, Lindsay's
Yeah.
brother that just had a bad car wreck. We don't know whether, I mean, it was
It's
bad,
just a
bad.
lot, yeah.
Yeah, there was a lot, and that was my body's reaction of
Yeah, just like
getting it
so
out.
much
And
going
so,
on.
and I had those for probably, man, I bet up until maybe 5 years ago. And
Really?
I've probably had,
Yeah, like a
I
few,
can
but
feel them come on. And now if I ever
you
feel,
know how
which,
to
yeah,
like
I can,
handle
I
it
can
more. Yeah. Breathe
start to
through it.
breathe through my
Yeah.
nose, breathe through it. I know what it is now. But I do the cold
You do everything to
baths.
help, yeah.
I meditate, work out,
So yeah, you
do
those
cardio, eat right, try to do all the things that I can,
yeah.
and limit my stress, and you know and
Yeah.
but yeah, so mental,
Breathe
so it's,
deeply.
I'm glad that you
Yeah.
brought that up,
Cause
because
those like
it's
yeah,
it's like panic attacks. That's mental health,
yeah,
that's
it
going
is, yeah.
through the struggles and strains of
100%,
it.
yeah.
Yeah. And so looking back on it, yeah, that was a big part of my
Yeah.
life, trying to deal with some of that stuff.
Cause get to
I don't know if
figure
you
it
remember
out,
as
yeah.
kids, sometimes when I would be struggling with one or something. I
Really, I feel like I don't even really remember, but
I know when I was by myself and y'all would be in another room or something like that,
yeah.
I would find, literally, if I got around you guys, I was like, I need to find the kids. I need to
Oh,
find the kids.
that's so
And
sweet.
I know. And I
Oh,
remember thinking, if I can just get to the kids,
it'll be
everything will be
better.
okay.
Yeah.
I'll be all right.
Um,
So
how do we deal with it? I feel like yeah, cause for the most part,
first
like
of all,
if
we
I
acknowledge it.
yeah, like well, cause I know if I wake up and I'm just like having a bad day mentally, like I know, like I just want to lay in my bed and like not move one single time. But I'm like, and used to that's what I would have done. I would just probably lay in my bed and just lay there all day. But now that I like want to work on it, like because you don't have control, but if I lay in my bed all day, that's not doing anything beneficial. So I try to at least like get up, try to do things I like. So I'll get up. I like to go get coffee, so I'll probably get, and I like to be in my car, so I like to go on drives. I like to get coffee. Sometimes, like, I don't really like to go on a walk or go to the gym, but if I'm feeling like I want to better myself, then I'll do that. And like try to just like read your Bible. I try to talk to my friends or my family or anybody. I feel like I'm bad at like trying to talk to people, but I do like I won't tell them what's going on, but I just like to go like interact with people more as like that's why I need just like
I feel like
human
in
interaction and just like making myself just not rot in bed all day like I want to do. Cause
as a
on me,
family, I think we've become aware of it too. Like
yeah, like you
if
guys can
somebody's
they can
going
tell, and
through
I'm like,
something,
yeah,
even you to y'all. I mean, if somebody's even starting if you're having a rough time, I
yeah,
think we're all aware of it. And that's one thing I prided myself when y'all were in school, and Kenna still is. I
yeah,
mean, I just come up
human,
and be
yeah,
like, y'all ready to take a day off? Who
yeah, or
needs a
like
day
I would,
off?
cause school, I don't know, that was where I feel like my mental health was like one of the worst for me. It was like school. I just like did not like that was the last one, which probably a lot of people, it's just like the last place you want to be sometimes. Cause it's just I don't know. It's like so sometimes it's just so weird just sitting in your chair at school all day, like just all day for 8 hours. I don't know.
School's
It's weird,
tough.
yeah, and it can be hard, yeah.
School is
Sometimes
tough.
it can be fun, but like I feel like the first semester of school, okay, that's all right. But then you get to the second semester and it's like the last place you want to be. And so I remember like if I was ever having like a rough day, I'd text them and be like, "Can I please leave?" And they'd let me sometimes.
What was
So
that?
or if I ever
Sometimes
asked, no,
I was like,
I only say that because I don't want them to think I was out of school like every
oh
day.
yeah,
I
no,
just
no, no,
meant it
no,
like
no,
no.
no,
Anytime I asked, yes, he would let me
yes.
leave. I just meant that as like
Oh no,
it
she
wasn't
never
every
had
single day.
any.
Yeah,
Your absences were far from ever being like, oh, we gotta,
anything
like,
bad.
yeah. No, your absences were always cleared and good,
Yeah,
and so I think that's the big thing. How do we deal with it? First of all, we acknowledge that it's
yeah.
real and it
I feel
needs to
like
be dealt with. and
And
we
sometimes it is
talk
hard, yeah,
about it.
because, yeah, sometimes there's days where it will be too hard for you to get up and, you will just lay in bed, and that's okay too. So, whenever I said that, I didn't want it to seem like I'm saying it's not okay because, yeah, sometimes you just kind of, if you're really going through something, sometimes you just need to relax for a little bit, but you just have to remember to take care of yourself because, like,
And as a
like,
parent,
yeah,
when you watch your kid go through this, it is very important to
like,
let them, because you might not feel like talking, but you need
yeah,
to know, hey,
because,
I'm
like,
here,
yeah,
or hey, here's a coffee. Here, I was thinking
yeah,
about you.
and,
When
like,
you're ready to hang out and talk, I mean, I'm
yeah,
here. So I always
because,
made that.
yeah,
I felt like I would
always, yeah.
try
Well, I
to
feel
do that
like
for you
just
guys.
try and, like, if you're having a bad day, like, or even if you're having just a really bad time, maybe take one day to just, like, chill, like, lay in bed if you need, but then try and think about, like, because sometimes I feel like I get in like, I just start thinking, like, especially right now because I'm not in school or anything, or, like, I didn't go to college and I'm, like, choosing a different route, like, I'll feel like I made the wrong decision, or, like, I'm not gonna be able to, like, I don't know. I'll just, like, feel like I just, like, am not doing the right thing, and so, like, I'll feel like I'm, like, alone in what I'm doing, which I'm not. Like, not alone, but, like, just, like, oh, everyone else is in college, but, like, I didn't go. I mean, my boyfriend didn't go either, so that makes it a lot. Like, I mean, he might go, but it makes it different too. But how I think of it is, like, if I ever just, like, feel like, because I mean, a lot of my friends are in college and I don't see them a lot, so if I'm ever just, like, feeling, like, sad or, like, kind of like lonely, I feel like for me, I just try to like fill up my week so I know what I'm gonna do, like, oh, or just like have plans because I like to be like doing stuff. Because if not, then I will probably just sit at home. But like plan things that you like to do, or just like anything like that. Just like have things to look forward to. Because if you never have anything to look forward to, like it's just like you're gonna be sad. But
Yep,
because
yep.
like in the things that like to look forward to, it can be like simple. Like you could be like, oh, Tuesday I'm gonna go like walk around, like we have the gathering place that's like a park like around here, but I want to go to the gathering place and like walk around with my friend, or like I'm gonna go get,
That's what we have. Hey,
yeah,
we have our Wednesday night. I got one of my best friends now,
yeah,
the one of the coaches on the Oilers. I mean, Wednesday night, me, Lindsay, and him load up. It's Ruth Chris night.
yeah,
Lobster
and
and
then
my sweet potato casserole, and he gets
yeah,
his double stuffed chicken, and Lindsay gets her lobster and steak, and
yeah,
that's
and then
our Wednesday night. I mean, it's that's what that's
yeah,
and then
and
we
then
play games and stuff like that at the casino, and I mean,
just
it's
little
just
things to look forward to,
yeah, set those
always,
up.
yeah,
Reward yourself.
cause you deserve it
You
to
done
get a
good. We
yeah,
call them done good things,
yeah, like
I done good.
me.
I deserve that.
Yeah, like every weekend mostly, like me and my boyfriend Cam, and then my best friend Zion, and maybe like one of his friends sometimes. We always just like go downtown, we just walk around and like talk, and it's always like super fun to me. Like I love doing it. I
Yeah.
love to just like catch up and like talk and hang out. So just
Hey, get that 10 minutes of circadian
yeah.
sun too. That's one thing. I'm big on that. Get out there in the mornings at 8 to 10 a.m. sun, before the UV sets
Yeah.
in, and
And just
just look in that sun. Let it hit your body, your face, your eyes. Without
yeah.
sunglasses, don't look directly into the sun. But get that sunlight. Get that
It's
sunlight.
good
That
to yeah.
vitamin D is huge, and that might be a deficiency of some people too. I've seen that it will help
Yeah.
tremendously if
I think
there's
so.
anything going on. It
Yeah.
definitely helps a lot of things. So hopefully that
Like
helps the mental
yeah.
health. I mean, I could talk about that
I
for
know.
a whole show, which
Yeah.
I'm sure someday we will hit real hard on
Right.
that.
I know, yeah,
Um,
because I do have a lot more. I'm just like waiting. I don't know when the right time to like or
I
to
know,
say
right?
everything is.
Right. So, did we
But
say who that one was from? Did we
yeah,
say
that was Sophie Clark.
Sophie
And
Clark M?
and then we have, so this is more of a question for him, but it's how do you see things from your kid's perspective? Did I
Who
say that
sent
weird?
this one in?
How do you see things from your kid's perspective instead of your own? And that was from Mike. Mike, I don't know how to say the last name. Yunes or
Eunice? Okay. All right.
Eunice?
Great
Yeah,
question,
really
Mike.
good.
How do I see things from my kid's perspective instead of my own? I always think back, and being a
I
coach,
mean, also like you
um,
were. Does it help like you were a kid once too? I feel like that's like
that's
just
right
think
where
about
I'm
it.
going
Yeah,
with it. That's
yeah,
exactly what I'm going to say because being a coach, so I was a player
yeah.
for most of my life. I'm a brand new coach. This is my first year of coaching, and I always think, what did my coaches do when I was a player?
Mhm.
That that really helped me, that motivated me, that wanted me to be better, that helped me to learn. I do the exact same thing. I mean, I think back to when I was a kid and what would I have wanted, the best parent they could. And I had very good parents, Gigi and Poppy, phenomenal.
Yeah.
But obviously there's things that I do different than how they raised me. Um, and I just think back, what is the best thing that's that in this
Yeah.
situation, if I jacked up, how do I handle
How
this
would I have won?
with
Like,
a learning
yeah.
situation? I still learn from it, but how am I going to, how am I going to try
Yeah.
to help them through that?
Because that's how I feel like I'd think of those situations. Like, whenever I'm a parent one day, I'm like, hmm. So, like, I mean, I love the way they parent, so I'll parent like them, but then also, like, yeah, you can just kind of think about how, like, you felt in that moment, like, how, like, you need to be, like, disciplined, that way you don't do it again, but also, like,
And fair,
if they're,
fair
like, mean and
consequences,
rude and
fair
not fair,
consequences.
that's just gonna make you want to go in your room and be mad. Like,
It's
you
instead
want it
of
to be,
talking
like,
at
yeah.
you, we still talk with you.
Yeah, and it's
We
like more
give you a
like at the end of
voice.
the conversation, you want them to feel like not like I hate my parents, they're so mean. Because if you just ground them and you're mean and you're yelling at them and you're rude, you're calling them names, like just being mean, that's all they're gonna get out of it. You want to get out of it like I feel like I want my kids one day to get out of it like I know my mom like just wants what's best for me. Like she just wants to like she wants me to learn better so I don't put myself in those situations. But she still loves me, but I am like gonna be disciplined so I learn better. Like, so yeah, it
And
has to
here's
be
the thing
fair,
too.
and like you have to
Let
talk to them
let
so
me
they know you
say
can talk.
this. I always how you parent. There's hundreds of ways to be a good parent. You'll hear me say that many, many times. But I'm telling you, if you're a parent that, yeah, I know we all get frustrated. I've yelled, I've raised my voice. My voice has got, but I try to catch myself in the moment. I'm like, whoa, 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 I'm getting
Yeah, you
loud, and
definitely,
I
definitely
even
like yeah.
apologize. I'm like, oh, I'm super
But
sorry
I honestly like I
for that.
swear I don't know the last time that you've like yelled at us or anything. Like I
See,
know you have, but I swear like I
yeah,
do not know the last time that you yelled.
and I think that's because I do
Yeah,
pride myself on because that's where I was going with it is when parents yell, it doesn't. I remember as a kid, I shut down.
I know that's
I
all I
was
do. I'll just start
like,
crying because the
not
second
and
someone yeah.
don't think this. My mom and dad are gonna watch
Oh
this.
yeah,
And
and I
y'all
just said
did
that yeah.
good. Gigi and
No.
Poppy are phenomenal.
No, my parents are
But
amazing, but the second they not even yell, just raise their voice. If I was like, I would just cry. Like, because it just, if anyone, like if you're anywhere and someone just yells at you, I feel like if you're a girl too, especially, no, boys too, but I didn't mean it like that, but I just know,
no,
like,
no, I it
anyone who's like sensitive, so that can be boys or girls,
parents
but
talk to your kids. I'm telling you,
you're just gonna cry.
you will get. And here's the deal: we table stuff. We're like, okay,
Yeah.
let's table this up
We're just
because right
like, it's
now
not getting anywhere,
I'm a
yeah.
little frustrated. You're a little frustrated. It's
So we're
okay
both
to
just
do
like,
that.
yeah.
It's okay to say, hey, let's come back. We know you screwed up. We got to figure something out with it,
Yeah.
and we have to talk about this. But let me breathe for a sec.
Yeah.
Let me take
And
this
like,
in.
especially don't do like the silent treatment, because that's like,
I've heard so many parents
we've
doing that
never
to
done
their
that ever.
kids.
Yeah,
Ever
actually,
done
ever.
that? Ever.
That's
That
never
is
happened, yeah.
never an option in our
But,
house.
but I'm just like, I hear about that, I'm like,
Yeah.
they just don't speak. I don't know. That I feel like that also just
Parents, how do you do that?
that's like a bad
Yeah.
like role
And
model for
and
your kids, kind of like
if you
setting
do
examples
that,
for
please don't.
relationships.
Please,
Yeah,
no, I'm
not
not.
saying yeah,
I'm
cause yeah,
not.
that break you
But
could take
let's
a
do
break
better.
and be
Yeah, let's do better in
wait
that.
until you're like in a better mood. That way you're both nicer to each other. But like the silent treatment, like just not talking to them,
And
like
slamming
that's their
doors.
punishment. Yeah.
Parents walk off and slam doors. Kids walk off. There's been no
But then you
doors.
wonder why they do
You.
it. So it's just like it just
It's
doesn't really make sense. But
no. Just everybody take a deep breath. We're
yeah,
gonna get through this. No, it's gonna be. It's all right.
yeah.
There's nothing we can't get through. We can figure this
Which that's
out.
what he always says to me right there, actually. If you guys want to know what he says, if anything ever happens, that's what he says. He
There
says,
it
like,
is.
we can get through anything, we can figure it out. Whenever he said, it just reminded me.
Hundred
But that's like
percent.
anything, if like I ever did something like bad, like that's, he would always make sure to say that first, I feel like.
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing we can't get through. Just like, how do we work through this?
And I talk with you.
Yeah.
I let
It's
you
not like
talk.
at me, yeah.
I let you talk back.
Yeah.
This is where the name of our
Oh, yeah.
it
I saw
literally
that
comes
was a
from.
question that was asked too, is why were we called Talking Back?
Are we talking? Yeah,
I think it's
because
because we're like a dad and a daughter, and parents don't usually let their kids say anything back, so then
but we
I'm
do. We
talking.
pride
Yeah.
ourselves on letting our kids and talking
Having a
back is not
voice, yeah.
necessarily
it's not always like
disrespectful.
disrespectful.
You know, kids have to have a
A
voice
voice too,
too.
yeah.
They got to, and you have to listen. You know, talking is listening just as
Yeah,
much as it is talking.
but
And it's talking with them, not
yeah.
at them, not to them. Watch the tone. You know, tones, it can shut people down. I'm just telling y'all. And I know some parents are like, well, I have to get my point across. So I got to be like, you know, and it's like, you do. But when you do that, I'm telling you, your kids are shutting down. And there's just a
And
big
like they're
difference
only gonna hear
of
what they want to hear.
there's just, I'm telling you, they're already tuning you
Yeah.
out and they're cussing you under their breath, and they might not be cussing you literally, but they might be. They
They
might be
might
like,
some of
"You
them, but
son of a blah 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 bleep bleep," and you know, and it's like they've done. You've lost them.
yeah.
You've lost them. So lectures and
Which
all that. Talk with them. Talk
it's
with them.
hard though because yeah, like sometimes yeah, like how your kid reacts because sometimes we react badly too, I feel like. And so sometimes it can be hard if you're like going through that. And so I don't have as much advice for like, it's hard. Sometimes it is hard. That's why I want to say like yeah, like whenever we're saying this, it's easier whenever we're like both in a good spot. But I don't know, like some families,
Yeah,
like you're gonna have different dynamics and everything we say like isn't gonna go
it's not
perfectly
gonna
or
resonate.
yeah, it's like
Yeah,
it doesn't
it's
always work for every household. So just because like what we're saying like wouldn't work for you doesn't mean you're doing anything wrong. It's
no. What works for us
just
might not
advice.
work for
Yeah.
y'all.
I just wanted to like
But yeah,
clarify
but
that.
these are little tips, you know, if you can even improve a
Mhm.
little bit, I promise you those tips
Oh yeah,
will
definitely.
help you.
I just mean like like if you are a parent and you're doing all that and your kid is still like just like not listening or just doing everything they want to do like
All right.
can
Let's
be sad.
great question, Mike. Great question.
And then
What else we
there's
got?
how do you respectfully tell your parents that they're being a little bit controlling? And then
Hmm.
Bug Brockman asked that.
Bug Brockman, great question. Let
And
me
I feel
say
like there's not
this.
like one answer to that. Yeah, there's
Let me
like
just
a
give you
million.
some,
Yeah,
yeah, let me give you, because first of all, I don't know your parents personally. If they were sitting here, we could talk through this and find a good way that worked,
yeah,
you know, for the dynamics that y'all have going on. But I can tell you this one thing: timing in this situation is everything. If your parents just came home from a long day at work, probably doesn't even matter if it was a good day, bad day, whatever day. Let them come home, wind down. Don't hit them with, with, hey, I feel like, let me tell you how I'm feeling. You know, and as parents, we can do better and listen to our kids feel, but sometimes, hey, when we walk through that door after a hard 8 hour, 10 hour, 12 hour shift, whatever you guys may do, um, you probably don't want to hear, some sort of, it's not the best time to try some negotiating
yeah.
skills right there. So timing is everything, kids.
Make sure like
Yeah, everything is.
you've done all your chores or
Make sure, yep, make sure it's
no
a good
joking.
time.
Just make
Think
sure they're all
that's a
happy.
great
Yeah,
point. That's a great point. Make sure that everything in your life has
yeah.
been,
I feel like if you're going to even be able to come to your parents and say that, like you do have to be like trustworthy. So you have to make sure like you're not like disobeying their trust all the time. You're not lying to them. You're not sneaking around doing things.
because the
Because
minute
yeah.
you are
Yeah.
this thing that you're about to approach them with,
Yeah.
it ain't gonna
You gotta make sure
work.
that whatever you're asking of them, I feel like you have to be respectful back. If you're gonna go tell them that they're being controlling, you have to make sure and like say they change for you, just make sure like you're willing to or not change, but make sure you're willing to be like respectful back with them like
That's what it's about. It's a
yeah.
two-way
But
street.
just like
It's
so
a two-way street.
and just go about it very like respectfully
And
and
ask
be like
questions. Ask
yeah.
them. Ask, and that's
You
the
can
way
be
I would
like,
approach
why
it.
do you like not let me do this or like how come I can't?
How
And you can be like, I'm
can
not meaning this in a mean way. Like I'm
yeah?
just like I really am curious because like
How could
maybe
I?
like your friends get to do and you don't. Just be like, I mean, you can just explain that. Be like, well, it's like, does my friends always get to do this and I don't? I mean, like, yeah, so maybe they won't care, but also like,
But parents
yeah,
explain to your kids the reason.
if
Explain.
you do,
Don't
yeah,
just
because
say
yeah,
it's my way because I said so. That's the big thing
yeah,
I get. My way or the highway. It's because I said so. You don't like my rules. You can blah blah blah. That's not helping the situation
yeah,
though. Parents, let your kids be able to come to you and ask you hard things
yeah, and
and
like
have
you're
answers for them.
and like by being controlling, like you don't have to be like 100% just let them do whatever they want, but maybe just like hear them
No.
out and if like maybe they want a later curfew and they have a
Maybe
reason
it's
for it or maybe
yeah.
like just like be reasonable, you know, like because obviously that comes to like how old they are or whatever they wanting to do. That could be controlling, they think, or
Yeah,
because
and
obviously
kids
it's
same
good to
way.
have,
If
yeah,
if you don't, be
yeah.
sure when you come to the table, kids, that y'all are prepared. Don't just say, "I just, I want to do more. So I want to hang out until 2 in the morning or whatever." It's like,
Because like your parents don't
come
want you doing
on,
that for a valid
yeah.
reason, like
There's valid reasons for things like that. And again, parents, if you haven't told them, tell them those reasons.
yeah. Because
Don't just,
sometimes,
yeah.
like, your parents should be a little bit controlling, like, not controlling, maybe that's not the word at all. But
No,
okay, not,
definitely
they should not
not.
be controlling, okay. No,
We
but
have
there
to
should
keep you
be
safe.
rules in
Number
place.
one,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's what
we
I
got
mean
to
by
keep you
that, yeah.
safe. And
Because,
there's a difference
because
between
if,
controlling parents,
yeah,
like why do you watch me? Why do you search my room? Why do you break my privacy? Why do you
yeah.
not what
But
I
then
think
there's
those are
like,
more the
yeah, because
controlling
like then like my
parents.
parents have my location on my 360. They don't stalk it, but they have it. Like, and that's like healthy. Like if they want to know where I am, they're like they can look at it, but they're not like every second like, what is she doing? Where is she going right now? Like none of that. So like there's just like a difference. Like it's just like
Exactly. My kids can see me 24/7,
yeah,
I'm
and
out of
like
town a lot for away games. I mean, we were in Green Bay last weekend, and
yeah,
or she can see where I'm at all times, just to know
just to know. Yeah, this way we can know each other are safe.
yeah,
Like I don't stalk him, he doesn't stalk me.
yeah.
But
No,
yeah, so I feel like
absolutely.
just if you're going about that question as a kid, make sure that you're gonna be respectful back with whatever like if they're gonna give you more freedom, make sure that you're like deserving of it. I feel like don't get a little bit more and then like go do something you
So
shouldn't be doing.
if you're
Yeah.
thinking about doing this, give it 2 weeks. Make sure that you've done everything the best of your ability. That way, when
Yeah.
you go to it, you can literally back up
Because if
what
you're
you're
gonna ask
saying.
that,
And
like, yeah, they're gonna want you
yeah,
to be like mature and like they're gonna want to be able to see that they can trust you and
are
like
you getting
know that you're
yourself
doing
up
what
for
you say.
bed?
Yeah.
Are you getting
Getting up
decent
for school, getting
grades
good
and
grades. Yeah.
and uh, and that kind of stuff?
And
So
like, do you lie? Do you turn your location off? Any of that?
yeah, yeah.
So it's just be mindful because if you earn it, then yeah, you should get more
That's it.
freedom
That's
for
it.
sure.
Great question, Bug. Great question.
Yes. Okay, the next one is I don't know how to say this person's name, but it's what was the most trying experience on y'all's relationship that you'd share? I don't know how
And I
to
think
say
he
it.
meant, did he mean with me and Lindsay? Did he mean with
No
me and
R's, which
you?
I do have one too.
Okay, perfect.
So for me, I
Perfect.
feel like not everybody knows, but I was in like I would say, or I was in a toxic relationship a while ago, and this whenever my like mental health probably first started to go down, and so I feel like that situation to me was not the most trying on a relationship, but because like I pushed like my whole family away, I feel like, and then like I feel like my friends like pushed me away at the time. I pushed my family away, like I just feel like I was in a place, and I was also
Toxic
being like,
relationships.
yeah, cause I was pretty like
No good.
what is the word I'm looking for? I was pretty like isolated, but like because of what I was hearing, like also. And so I feel like I was pushing my parents away. Like I didn't like really try to interact with them as much as I normally would have. Like I kind of was always just like in my room. Like I didn't make any effort to talk to anybody really. And like I feel like it wasn't them. Like they tried, and I would just push them away. Like I was just like kind of feel like I wasn't like mean, but it was more just like I don't know. I
And
was just
as a
that's a
parent,
very hard like thing to watch and go through and like
we knew
that something was
we
wrong.
didn't
Like
know
yeah.
we didn't know the extent of it. We didn't know the
Yeah.
extent, but we knew something was off because we do have, our relationship is good.
And that's why like whenever this
And
was going, they were like confused because they're like, why does she like?
what
Because
is
I just like
going
was
on
not
here?
caring like about like my relationship with them at all, and so I feel like that was that. But then I remember like we had to talk about it, like because my like grades were getting bad, like I just like wasn't like trying in any other like in any aspect of my life really, and
No,
so
and remember this, no relationship no healthy relationship is going to pull you away from
yeah,
people that you love, people that you
ever
care
yeah
about. That's what a toxic person wants to do, is pull you away from
yeah
everybody because
they know
they know they're toxic. And
yeah
they know other
because they know
people
everyone around me knows that they are
that
too,
they
and they
are
know that
too, and they want to, that's a
yeah
manipulation trick. So if you find yourself having to pull away from people that are really good to you, I understand there's some relationships that there's mom and dads out there that don't let their kids, they have to hide every relationship they get in. I'm not necessarily talking about that. I'm talking about, you guys know the difference
yeah
of a person
because
pulling you away from a healthy relationship,
Yeah.
and that is just, it's, as a parent, it's hard. It's so hard to watch your kid go through that.
Yeah,
And
which
because the more, if we
and
pushed on that, the more teenagers will run to that
yeah,
thing that is more toxic, and it's like, so there's a
yeah.
very fine
It's
line, and you
hard,
have to be
yeah. It's
careful.
cuz and that's why like also during this time like my own like friends were like pushing me away and like I mean I was probably I wasn't really like pushing them away because I kind of like but I feel like that also I don't know, it was just like a very like hard time. I feel like it was very weird, but also as a friend I feel like don't I don't know. I feel like my friends at the time could have handled that differently, and then it all could. I mean, I could have
It
handled it
was
different.
just
I shouldn't have
so,
ever let. But it's like you don't know till
but your
yeah.
friends, and I see that as, if I'm, I look back at my teen years, and if I, I'm not even, I know we're more aware of it now, toxic
Hmm.
relationships, but sometimes they are, as your friend sitting there, it's almost like you might not even see the toxicity in it. You just see, she just wants to be with him all the
Which
time,
is like
and
is what they say, but also like that doesn't make any sense considering the
and
circumstances. You
I
know, like
know, I
so
know.
that's what they would say, and I'd be like, that doesn't really make because I didn't do. I mean, I guess sometimes I did. I'm not gonna sit here and say I didn't because sometimes yeah, I did. Whenever like I shouldn't have, but it's like
She
nobody
chose
else knows what that person is saying in my other ear when they're telling me this. Like that's why it's like you don't know like so that's why I just feel like I mean, but then I had my best friend Zion and she was always there for me because she's just a good friend. And like she knew like
such a good
even though
friend.
like I would push her away, she would not
Thank you,
let me.
Zion.
Yeah. She would never ever
Love you,
ever let
Zion.
me. Yeah, I
You
love you
are an
so much cuz she
amazing,
would
amazing
never
person.
let me push her away and like I
Yeah.
mean neither would my family obviously. Whenever I would try, they were always like
We ain't going nowhere. We're
yeah.
right here. We're
Yeah.
right
But I
here,
feel
even
like
though
for me,
you don't
yeah.
know it yet. You want to be pushed away. But
Yeah.
yeah, so
But I feel
that's,
like that was definitely the most like trying
I
to me.
agree.
I feel like because that was like a
I agree.
it
That
was
was
very
hard
because it
for,
wasn't
it
just for
was,
them, it was like my siblings too, like and a
yeah.
lot of people like and I it was a very like hard situation, but we like worked through it and everything obviously, but
Yep. Yep. And the best thing I can tell you, parents in that situation, is just, you know, like I said, the more strict
it's
and
like
firm,
weird
it's a
because it's
tough
a such a weird
situation,
situation because if
such a
anyone
hard
told me
one.
like you have to just leave like no, they're not gonna. If you know someone in that position, though, they're not gonna listen to you because they're not gonna leave until they want it for themselves. Like
Yep.
if they're in a toxic relationship, like
And if
you're no one else can convince you except yourself, and that's like it's hard, but you have to just like find that self love and know you deserve so much more than feeling like and being with someone who wants to isolate you from your friends or your family. Like
so much more, man.
that
If you're in a
is
toxic
not good. Yeah,
relationship, I'm just telling you, there's going to be some people listening that
yeah.
you are.
You
You
there's
gotta
so much
you
more
gotta reach
waiting for
out, and
you,
so
and
much more
you
waiting for you. Don't think that
yeah.
that person, just because they're in your ear telling you this and that, it's
Yeah.
the,
You
oh,
deserve way much more
way
love. You
more,
deserve so much
way
more
more.
love and someone who actually
You're better
loves
than
you.
that.
Yeah.
And if you're manipulating somebody, you're listening to this, be
Think
better,
about
do
it, yeah,
better,
cause
and be a better person. There's
yeah,
just
cause nobody like I feel like I don't know, cause I don't think the people that are doing. I mean, I think they realize it, but they don't realize the extent of like what they're
some of them are
causing
just
to other people.
pure.
Though, like you don't know
Yeah,
like how much damage you really can do to somebody.
yeah, I
So
agree.
yeah.
I agree. All right.
So that was
Yeah, Ali, running short on time, but we can get one more in. Let's get one
okay.
more. Let's get one
GG.
more.
Okay. So, the last question. What inspired you to be a chill dad? I also don't know how to say that. Squardelli. Squardelli. I don't know if that's anything what you say, but so what inspired you to be like a chill or a
What inspired me to be a chill dad? Okay, so I remember way back. I've probably told this story, a few times, but this will always come up in a something like this. I was at work one day working for a place, and this was in 2008 because yeah, Darren was 5, so
mm-hmm,
this was in '08, and Darren had a soccer game, and they told me I could not leave to go to a soccer game,
mm-hmm,
and I said, do what? It's a Saturday afternoon. It's basically my lunch hour. I can go watch him, come back. Obviously, it might be a little longer than an hour. And they said no. And at that moment, I never knew that I wanted to, and it's not necessarily I don't know if this fits the mold
A
of a
chill dad, but
chill
like I feel
dad,
like it's more like he just knew he always wanted to be
but
close and like have a
I knew I
relationship.
wanted to
Like
have a relationship with my kids, and nobody ever again. I didn't know how I was going to do it, but I knew nobody was going
yeah,
to tell me again that I could not go spend time with my kids if I wanted to go spend time with my kids. Nobody was going to take that away from me. And I walked out of that job.
yeah,
No money, no savings, no. I mean, people would probably looking back at that. But I wasn't going to let that fail either. And I've never worked for another person ever again in my life.
yeah.
I made Lindsay. I say I.
But yeah, there was another question
Lin,
that said, "Do you have another job other than TikToks?" I mean,
I got you. Right now,
not
not
really, but
really. I
yeah.
mean, I do coach
But
for
I
the
was gonna say,
Oilers,
yeah, you're gonna talk
professional
about
coach. So that is
roofing, huh?
that's my other job. We did own a roofing and construction business, and that's kind of
Yeah.
what we left. And I knew nothing about roofing. I the
Just went
last time I was
lost.
on a
Yeah.
roof, I was trying to put Christmas lights up because the kids wanted Christmas lights so bad. I literally, y'all are gonna think I'm lying. I am not. I had to, it was like a cartoon. I had to, so I'm on the roof. I slide down the roof, start sliding down. I grip that roof so hard. My fingernails, first of all, were like almost gone, almost ripped them off.
Ooh.
I had like, my skin had came off of my fingers. I had to literally take my fingers and pry them back straight because
Ugh.
they were so just stuck like this. And
And
then
he was
I'm
like, "Oh,
going
I
to
want to be a
start a
roofer."
roofing
Yeah.
company? What?
But
So now I can climb on a roof like no other, but haven't had to do that in a long, long time. And
yeah.
very, very super blessed for that. But like I said, I had no idea what I was going to do that day that I walked out, but I just knew that I was going to make something happen and make it happen quick.
Right.
And I think that really, that just try somebody telling me that I couldn't be with my kids, I knew that no, I'm going to be with my kids, and that
Right.
started that relationship very, very close. That I always wanted to, be a dad and a friend to my
Yeah.
kids. I pride myself on being both. I've always said that too. But yeah, so that's what made me a chill dad. And then,
And
I
then I feel like
mean,
once your kids get older, I feel like whenever they're teenagers, I feel like I don't know. I feel like you just should want to develop a relationship with them even more because they're
man, no
like, yeah,
kidding. I couldn't
yeah.
imagine not being close with y'all and being able to talk about
I know
life with
because sometimes
y'all.
like I'll
And
hear like people talking, like just like moms talking or dads, and they're like, I'm so excited to be away from my kid all day today, and I'm like, what?
it's like, how is that
That's
even
so
like we've
sad. Yeah.
never been in that situation?
Yeah, and my
Never been in that
parents always
situation.
are like, I know they tell people they like to be around us, and I'm like, that's just sweet. Like it makes me happy to hear that they say that, and then
We
I
love it.
wish that everybody's parent, like I wish that everyone could just
I
be
know.
be
I
nice.
know. Just be
Yeah,
nice. Be nice. There's a way you can still get your point across, and
still
you can
be
be nice
nice.
with
Yeah,
it. And so
and I just don't get how people disagree on that, but so
yeah,
many people do. But because I mean, I get you do need to be stern sometimes, like stern, but that doesn't mean you have to be mean still.
we do. Yeah. I mean, exactly,
Yeah, like you could be
exactly that.
like, it's
It's
like
you
important,
can
like you got to
be
get the point across.
nice
Yeah,
and stern, and
and just not be rude. Yeah,
yeah.
you just don't have to call
No,
names or say because that's you might think in the moment that it's the worst thing that's ever happened to you, but it's really just a learning experience, and it is hard,
so, I mean,
but it'll make it a
yeah.
lot better if you're not like if you don't make.
Nope.
I just threw my ring on there.
Dropping rings.
But if you're mean about it, you're just gonna cause a whole lot more than you even. I mean, I don't know. It's gonna just make it worse anyway. I don't know.
It
I mean, I do
does.
because yeah,
It-
consequences, yes, are still like you need consequences, but you don't have to be mean to give a consequence either. That's
No,
why
and
I feel like parents
and
think
here's the
like you have to be
deal.
mean. Yeah,
Fair consequences,
yeah,
that can be good things too. That's
yeah,
what y'all parents have to realize too is why do we just have to punish all the
yeah.
time?
Because like
We
like
can
say like maybe
do cool things too.
yeah,
And that's because of a choice you might have made that was the
mhm,
right choice.
yeah,
Um, So, anyways, I think that's we're probably out of time.
yeah,
Need to wrap it up, but man, great questions, guys. Great questions. Thank you guys
yes.
for sending those in. Hopefully, that
We
answered
answered some of
all of
them.
your questions. And
Yeah.
hey, guys, thank you for tuning in again. This was Talking Back.
Powered by Life 360.
I I was Billy.
And I was Drew.
Hey, we'll see you guys next time. Thank you guys.
Thank you.